This is Plastic Adventures.
Hey everybody, it is Doug out there and Steve over here, your Plastic Adventures toy community team, and we have returned after yet another grown-up absence and sickness and holidays and all of that other business that comes along. But we're back and we're on another episode of Plastic Bits sharing time. And unlike maybe a few of the other times, I'm feeling a little toy rich this time. And I know Doug's got some cool stuff too, so maybe we ought to just like dive right into it. We don't want to take a million years to get it done, but
Yeah.
I think we got some. I managed to pull some pretty cool stuff. So, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first, definitely. Yeah, let's do it.
Great.
Rock and roll.
Uh,
Let's
so
give
I'm
the
gonna
people
say
what
that
they want.
my, yeah, I know the person or persons. Anyhow, so I got two Goodwills in close proximity to me up here.
Mm.
I got one right up the road. I live in Cedro Woolley, and there's also one in Mount Vernon, which is very close to my new place of employment. So you can imagine that I'm sort of a frequent to these things, especially since I'm out in the field a lot and my whole job is talking to people. So I'm going to show you some Goodwill pickups that I got.
Right on. Those are some of the best
Okay.
ones.
And they're okay, so nothing super exciting that we haven't seen before, but it's neat when you get it for a really good price and you find it in the wild. So,
Oh, no
yes,
accessories, no nothing, just straight up naked He-Man and Skeletor. Right on.
they are naked. They are original release. They're of the first, I want to say like the very first run that came out. You can kind of tell when you, it's hard to see, but if you look at the belly button,
Mm-hmm.
he actually has one. And as the mold degraded later,
They
it,
lost
it was
that.
less and less prevalent. So, gosh, it was just really neat finding these.
That
Um,
they don't
Under
look
10
too bad. I
bucks.
mean, you put some accessories on those, and those are good.
Yeah, and I already have them. I have many of them. This is like my fifth original He-Man, but
Does it really matter?
I was super tempted just to leave it. In fact, I did the first time I saw them. I have them, let somebody else find them. And then I panicked the next day. I'm like, but what if someone else gets to have them? I want them.
Well, what if that person won't love them as much as me?
We're not as dense with collectors up here. So I did pass on the first day and came back and got them the next day.
Dude, it was
Okay,
destiny, right? If you pass on it and then you go back and they're still there, you got to take it.
yeah. So Goodwill find number two. It was one of the only ones that I didn't buy because I've never liked the design, but I couldn't pass it up for like $3.
What? You found that for $3?
Yeah, Super Go. Well, he was in a bag of other stuff.
That's
So
cool.
this is
That's a good one,
Destroyer.
man.
Yeah, yeah, he's actually in really, really good shape. All the joints are really super stiff, and he's got the feet still.
Nice.
These little silver deals here
And they
that
fold
flip
up.
up. Yeah, they come right off of there. So it was never my favorite, but I mean, he's just in tremendous condition, so I couldn't pass on this one.
Dude, he looks
Uh,
great.
yeah, yeah, I had one as a kid and I hated it so bad. Like, where's his face, right? But then you see Ironhide and Ratchet from G1, and you're like, oh, never mind.
Never mind.
Yeah. So last of my Goodwill scores
All right, let's
was
see it.
this is actually my favorite because I did not have one of these.
Oh,
Power
hold on. I
Glide.
know his name. Yeah, Powerglide.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, he's
Again,
in good
really good
condition too.
shape. He's like,
His stickers are great.
yeah, he's super stiff. Stickers are still fully intact. I mean, it's almost like this was just sitting in some box somewhere and
You found that at
it got
Goodwill.
donated to Goodwill. So great scores. I think this was in a bag of other stuff too for $3 or $4. So
My Goodwill
um,
only has broken toys. How'd you get so lucky?
I don't think that mine participate as heavily in the online website thing, their
Uh,
shopgoodwill.com. So this stuff just slips out and like I did pass on some other Masters figures. They had a couple of bags of them there that just basic stuff like Naked Hordak and Naked Man at Arms, and there was a King Hiss partially complete.
ooh.
But that just it was cheap, and they sat there for like 2 weeks.
Hmm.
No one picked them up. Finally, someone did, but
Yeah,
I
see,
was
I would
very,
be
very
one of those
happy.
guys who'd pick them up and I'd be like, "Ah, I'll put it in a box and maybe I'll complete it later."
Uh,
But when you
I
have copious amounts of room like I do, right, then you can do that.
right, yeah, yeah. Like I said, those it was a probably shouldn't buy, but I was just so excited to find them that I mean, why the hell not?
Why the heck
Had to
not?
get them.
Absolutely.
Okay, so show me something cool that you got.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'll start off on the vintage side of things. So, our local friend, who will remain nameless until he decides to be named, um, uh,
Is he the admin of the amazing and awesome Tri-Cities Toy Collectors?
he is that the very
Great,
same.
super
Um,
good dude.
he is a really good dude. And before I got sick, because that was one of the reasons why we have not done a show in such a long time. The reason why our weekly show is not a weekly show anymore, it's a whenever show. But he had some boxes of things that he was like, "Hey, come through, look through these things, and let's see what we can do." Um, and so right off the bat, there was one thing sitting right on top that I was like, "Okay, I got to see if I can complete that." So we went through all of his boxes and all of his things, and we got like 99% complete on this bad boy.
Oh man.
Like, we're
That's actually like one of those sleeper Joe vehicles that doesn't come to mind immediately, but
right.
that has the twin rotors that
It
both
does. Well,
rotate.
and I'm missing just one twin rotor and these little missiles up front. There's
Yeah.
four of them. I only have two of them. But that's it. Everything else, we found everything else in his box of parts that are boxo plenty, right? There's tons of stuff in these boxes.
Yeah, I need to go and pick through there myself. Didn't have time last time.
But hey, a 99% complete Mamba, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah,
All you
looks
need
like
to
you
do is
got the
find one of
pilot in
these
there
other
too.
blades, which, looking online, these bad boys are like $25 each. I don't know why, but I get.
Eh,
But if I ever get hard up enough that I'm like, I've got to complete this, maybe I'll buy one of those. But I mean, for right now, I mean that it still looks good. I think it's awesome. I love the color. I love the functionality of it. I like how these things can come right off if I can do it.
the pods.
The
Yeah.
pods come
Yep.
off, so it's got like a multiple vehicles in one type of thing. Which me, I love that crap. So um, yeah, that was
So
pretty cool.
I got a super quick story about the Mamba. We had a local Buttrie's that was like my place. It's the whole thing that I patterned my retail rack display, like the one that you've
Mm,
got back there,
hmm.
off of. Uh, rarely did I come into like $20 or something as a kid. So I was just
You're
wanting a
filthy
Warthog
rich, man.
so bad, like Sergeant Slaughter's Warthog. Love that vehicle. It's like my favorite Joe vehicle. So finally, it was like birthday or something.
Uh-oh,
I
we
think
lost
maybe
you. We
my
lost
dad
you.
sent me some money in a card, and we get up there.
Technical
Can you hear
difficulty.
me now?
Stand by. Yeah, I can hear you. You're kind of grainy though. I think we dropped some internet rate.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Okay, so uh, I get up there and I finally have enough money to buy Sergeant Slaughter's Warthog, and somebody had put a $5.99 price sticker on the Mamba,
What?
like pulled it off of some other toy or something. And back in the day, they didn't scan UPCs; they just had the manual sticker
Oh,
tags for the front of them. So when I got to the register, I had enough to buy both of them for
no.
$20. Yeah, yeah, it was great.
Did you buy both of them? You had the
Oh
Mamba?
hell yeah, I did.
Nice.
And the cashier was like, "Are they all marked at this price back there?" And I said, "Yeah."
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm not gonna go check. Wow.
Yeah, so sorry, didn't mean to steal your thunder there, man. I
No, it's all
just
good. It's
that
all
was my
good. I mean,
Mamba
that's why we're
story.
here to talk about these things. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What else? What else do you got
I'll
there?
stay on the vintage lane. So I got found a really good price for these locally at one of our favorite haunts. The what's it called? The Xenophile. Um,
Oh, are they putting new stuff out?
he did. He went through some boxes finally and put some new stuff
Great.
out. So I started buying these.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I got that one. I picked I picked that one up.
Great. I love the AT-AT.
Yeah, and I love the snow speeder. And then I got that one.
Probably the peg warmer of its time.
Yeah, but I didn't have these
But
ones.
hey, you can't not. You got to
No,
have
I
that
mean
one if you're
it's
buying
a
the
good
others.
price. It's in the package. It looks great on display. I'm picking it up. Right. So
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
those were things I couldn't pass up. Those are vintage stuff. I got a whole bunch of new stuff to show off if you want me to keep going or do you want to take a turn?
Okay, I'll take a quick spin.
Oh, you got the Christopher Reeve. Okay, how does he look in hand?
Okay, so what I got to tell you about this one um, is that in hand it's way better.
Okay.
It's it's just one of these figures, right? Like the Indiana Jones like Black Series style figures that they did that looked so bad in some of the pictures. Like even the promotional pictures from the company from Hasbro, they looked bad.
Mm-hmm.
This is not perfect, right? Like it's not a perfect likeness, but he's really surprisingly good. It's not as
But it's
awful as some of
very
those.
close. It looks
Yeah,
much better in your hand than it does in the pictures I've seen.
yeah, yeah. So this was courtesy of oh gosh, it's the one down in Mukilteo that I Toy Roundup.
Ah, okay.
I'm like a frequenter there. I can't remember the name, but Toy Roundup's a great shop, and they do a lot of these superhero figures and a ton of Transformers. So if you
Ooh,
come up here at some point, we'll stop by there. But they got an advanced kind of a shipment of these, and I got them to hang on to one for me so I could drive down,
very nice.
make a point of it to go through there. So yeah, and I actually did see him at my Walmart too.
I was gonna say I have not seen him at our Walmart. I've only seen the gold label Superman, which is still
Yeah,
pretty
so
cool.
this was in the nerd section.
I've been looking for this one and I have not seen it. Him and the dark suit version. I was looking for both of them. So I have not seen them in our neck of the woods yet.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled and look in the we're in the electronics because
Okay.
that's where I found this where I found it here. There was just one. I think he was only packed like one to a case with several other
Mm,
figures. You know, they're the platinum line or whatever they call them with the extra hands and heads and everything. I am going to tell you that that other head sculpt, the frowning one, it's bad.
don't
It
use
looks
it.
like the Grinch. That's the best I can tell you. He looks like the
Nah,
Grinch.
I'll just use whichever
But
face or head is closest to Christopher Reeve. That's all I would care about.
yeah, I didn't even have to pop off the head off of my custom made one that I did to, you know,
Oh, to the
to
gold label?
yeah. Yeah, so this one is actually surprisingly a lot better than what it looks like online.
That's
You
cool.
know, Marion from that Indiana Jones series looked like a garbage pail kid. So like on the pictures and you get her in hand, you're like, oh, I get it. They actually did a good job.
Right on.
So okay, what you got there, sir?
Okay, I'll share one of the things that's I think after this one, all the rest of them are GI Joe again. So this one I'll share. So you got this one last time, and
Oh
mine showed up
yeah.
late, but I still got it. So there they are, all four of the O-ring GI Joe style Ghostbusters. Um,
Dude,
it's
that was
great.
just one of these things where it's like there is no question when that went up for pre-order, you're waiting
Yeah.
for 10 a.m. and you just fricking buy it, dude, because you never know if it's going to be the one that sells out and disappears. Um,
I was wondering when they were gonna ship it out. I guess apparently I was on the last box, but hey, either way, it doesn't really matter. I got one. I am on the fence. I don't know if I'm gonna get an Ecto one.
uh, that's a little steep.
It is. I found a really good. I found a good one on Amazon for $60, but I'm like,
Oh, never mind. I thought they were like $100 or
no, it was
something.
only $60 on Amazon. But even then, I didn't pull the trigger because I'm like, I don't know where I'm gonna put it. There's so many other
Yeah,
things I
where do you
want
put
to.
it?
Yeah.
But I mean that's like the Ghostbusters figures that always wanted since we were a
Oh,
kid.
totally. I knew I was gonna get the figures. Like the figures were a give me. Like that's gonna happen. But I don't know if I really need it. I mean, that would be like the third Ecto one that I bought. And yeah,
Yeah.
it looks cool, but I don't know if I want to buy another Ecto one.
Yeah, for those of you out there who are looking for these too, if you can't get it online, check your local GameStop.
Mm.
For whatever reason, my GameStop gets a bunch of this like
Oh, you're
exclusive
lucky.
stuff. You know, I'm pretty lucky. I don't know how the ones in the Tri-Cities are, but you
It's
can
hit and
also
miss in
check
the
their
Tri-Cities.
inventory
It's hit and
online.
miss.
Yeah,
The one in the mall sometimes has really good stuff, but then they don't, and then the one on Road 68 does. It's kind of a trade-off sometimes, but sometimes it's really good, and then other times it's completely barren, right? So,
yeah. I think mine might be the only GameStop in like 40 miles of my area, so that's probably why they don't hold back when it comes there. We'll
ah,
see if they stay open. They probably will, but a bunch of them are closing too. Okay, you want to go again? What do you got?
yeah, I'll go one more time. Okay, I got found this guy at GameStop. I'll show you the ones I got at GameStop.
Yes. Dude, that's another buy on site
Yeah, he's
immediately.
a
That is
great
such a
figure,
good figure.
and it. What I like about this one is he's the classic style Cobra Commander, but he goes with that once a man that I got.
Uh-huh.
So like it's everything on him except for the ripped shirt. So it's like you could have this one and then switch over immediately to the once a man one and it's flawless, right? So it looks really good, but it's definitely man, that retro. You gotta love the retro packaging on these
Yeah,
things.
I found mine at GameStop up here.
Yeah. Did
And
you get one of these ones?
oh yeah, yeah, no
Yeah.
hesitation at all, man. Like
Yeah.
that I'm not a classified collector per se. I have some now, but that was like absolutely without a shadow of a doubt. That one next to the classic Duke, I just had to have them
Ah,
both.
yeah, I love my classic Duke. And I still have not seen the classic Snake Eyes that I was lucky enough to get from some Chinese seller. I don't know where he's at, eBay. But I still have not seen that one anywhere, ever, on any shelf at any place.
No, I think it had some hinky distribution. I never saw a single one. I saw the peg, but
Yeah.
I never the label on the peg. I never saw the figure. But hey, it'd be sweet if we got a V2 Snake Eyes. I'm kind of like
Oh,
holding
dude,
my breath
a
for that
real
one.
V2 Snake Eyes? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then at
Okay.
GameStop with that one, I picked up that guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Another like talk about
It's
bad
a great
figure
figure.
made good.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Yeah.
He's got a really cool accessory that kind of upgrades the tech on him. That is it's like a wrist readout thing that you can plug in and it looks like a hologram. That's kind of
Oh,
cool.
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. So that yeah, that's a good one. That's another GameStop pickup. Okay, what else you
Great. Okay, I'll share what I got for my birthday.
got? Oh, that's right. It was your birthday.
It was, yes, in early January. Finally, because I couldn't handle not having the figure.
Hmm.
Nicole got this one for me.
Oh, so you got the Baroness inside of it. The wonky painted eyeballs Baroness.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't taken Megatron out at all. I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen there, but
I don't know anybody who
for
bought that for Megatron.
hold on a sec here. Let me. Okay.
There we go. Yeah, her eyes just oh.
Yeah, I don't
I
I don't
mean,
know what the story is why those were white painted, but it doesn't match the face. But zoom out, it looks like a cool carded
oh,
Baroness.
totally.
So
Yeah. That'd be the only reason I would buy that set.
yeah, I had to have that one. Um, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna do a two for right now from
Cool.
another local. Well, it was local to the Bellevue area. Or I should no Bellevue, Renton. It's close to IKEA. That's
Okay.
what Renton, I think. Anyways, D-Pad Retro Gaming's a great like retro gaming store, and they do figures there
Hmm.
too. And the first thing that I got at D-Pad,
Okay. Oh, that's the Legacy Optimus Prime.
yeah, the deluxe. It's meant to look like G1 Optimus Prime.
He's smaller than the original. Did you know that?
Oh, incredibly smaller. I posted some pictures on the Facebook community with a comparison. I don't like that thing very much.
I think it
So,
looks good.
overall, it's an incredibly good likeness of the original figure. I like that the thighs are a little bit beefier on this one. They don't look so spindly. Um, very, very true. Like to the original. He comes
Hmm.
with the full size gun, the bloated one, and then he also comes with like the smaller one that came later.
That's cool.
Details are really good, but I'm not going to go too far into it. Yes, huge difference
Is
between
he does
this
he got
and,
piping in his head? Is that why his
well,
eyes glow?
it would have been, but it's painted.
Oh, okay.
It's like a yellow paint or something, or maybe it's solid plastic, but because I think they really wanted to get the yellow eye effect going on there from the original toy.
I was gonna say I can't tell if it's a piping effect or what, but his eyes kind of do look like they're lighting up a little.
It's not piping. It's
Oh,
just
that's too
it's a
bad.
really bright yellow. Um,
Okay.
but hey, you know what? I it was kind of one of these things where I was going to buy it if it looked good enough, and it certainly does. I just hope that this isn't the new deluxe scale because he's about the same
Ooh.
size as Bumblebee or the other mini bots that
Oh,
they've been
that
producing.
would be a downgrade.
Yeah, well, and for $25 or whatever they are now, yeah, you're getting less toy.
Hmm.
But might be cooler than that, what I got from D-Pad Retro Gaming.
Oh, Wondar.
Uh-huh.
Good. I'm glad you picked him up. I picked that one up too. I've had that one for a while. Love that figure.
Yeah, I took a pass, and then when it came to time, like when you could reorder it and get it again, it sold out when I wanted it. So
Yeah.
I'm really, really happy that I finally get to have
Good.
one. It's unpunched. Um,
Mine's punched. Mine's on where is mine? He's back here somewhere. Who knows where he's at? He's in here. Yeah, he's on there somewhere.
but I was like, I was so pissed that I couldn't have it. Like they sold out immediately.
Yeah.
I paid $30 for that,
Okay, that's not
which it
too bad.
shipped it, taxes and shipped it would have been about that much from Mattel anyways. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a $20 figure at the time, 6-7 bucks for shipping and a couple dollars for tax. So,
Yeah. No, that's a good
uh,
price.
no, happy to have it. Okay, what do you got
All right,
happening
I'll do
there?
the next ones in rapid fire because I think we got 3 minutes until we gotta go to a
Okay.
commercial break. Okay, so I picked up from our nameless friend, Iron Grenader bat.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I love his coloring. He's really cool. I love that alternate head too for him. Really cool.
Yeah, it made really good sense in context that I mean it's Destro's tech, right?
Yeah. And then keeping along with Iron Grenaders, I found Iron Grenader.
That is a freaking awesome figure.
Yeah. Where did I find this one? I can't remember. Anyway, one of my Christmas presents was Halo Jumper.
Oh, yeah, those are so awesome, dude. They remind me of the Valaverse Action Force
Yeah,
figures. Yeah,
really cool figure. So he's kind of a repaint of Airborne and comes with a couple of extra accessories, but still very cool figure. I love that one.
I
And
do
then
too.
the last one to show is one that mysteriously showed up on my doorstep from somebody. I don't know who this came from, but you
Oh,
know.
right. Found it, Ross. Can't put it
Hey,
on my
it's
shelves,
still
but
it's still a good figure set because they have the what is it called? Kabuki? Is that what it is? I think it's called Kabuki, the masks. They have the
oh,
alternate
okay.
heads, which are really cool looking. They're those are really cool. So there's like a wolf and a demon. Pretty neat. So yeah, that's my stack. What do you got for 2 minutes?
Okay. Check your targets because finally they might be getting some of the crossovers of Masters of the Universe and Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah. I've seen
This is the He-Man. I did not take the Demigorgon out of the package. So I'm going to tell you what I really like really quickly. I don't know if it's coming through, but airbrushed on all the muscles, and the palette of colors is terrific that they
the
used.
silver looks really shiny.
Yeah, they're like these muted colors, and He-Man's hair isn't yellow. It's like this actual like blonde tone.
Okay.
Um, it is a really good figure, and they're on sale half off right now. They're
Oh,
17.49.
okay.
So
That's
yeah,
it. That is a good
he comes
price.
with this wacky shield, came with the battle axe and the sword. I already
That
have so
sword is a
many.
full sword too, by the way.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I have a bunch of these already, different versions of Origins He-Man, but I'm not walking on this one because this is, in my opinion, probably the best produced one with the extra paint apps and everything that they've done. Not the most traditional, but probably
I
best.
like the silver on it. It looks really good.
Yeah, the silver and the gold just they really pop. And the
Yeah.
boots with the different colors up here, the everything is just it's like tertiary shades instead of primary for color. So There's
Very
just
cool
something
looking.
that it's more like lived in looking.
Yeah.
So that was a great Target find. Um, I did not find these at Target yet.
Oh, I went looking for those. I couldn't find those at Target.
Yeah, I didn't find them at Target yet, but I got them from Super 7 and it took them like 3.5 days to get them to me.
So I might have passed on the Duke because the Hasbro one is okay. I was really looking for that Serpentor.
Yeah, they're really really good. I happen to have because I'm me.
Ah, yeah, to get two.
Yeah, so what
How's
I
the
did with
face
this,
app? I can't kind of tell. It looks kind of like it looks okay.
yeah, so it looks
The Saga of Crystar, a fantasy world of crystal warriors, demons, and wizards. Good wizards like Ogioti, evil wizards like Zardak, and underworld demons like Moltar.
They've captured Ogioti!
Each figure with a crystal prism that makes everything look like this.
Goodness and right, evil and might, the winner is out to you!
The Saga of Crystar collection. Each figure sold separately by Remco. New from the Masters of the Universe collection.
To the battle bounds!
The collector case that carries more than warriors, more than weapons. Your parents put it together.
To battle!
Battle Bones can also help you carry on the struggle. The struggle for...
All the power in the universe!
The Battle Bones collector carry case, new from Mattel, each toy sold separately.
Battle beat wood! Fire! Fire burns wood! Battle beat fire! Water! Water puts out fire! Battle beat water! Wood! Wood beats water! Battle beat collect every one of these incredible creatures to battle for fun. Just activate their battle badges.
I got fire! I got water! Water beats fire!
Battle beat can grow into an army. Collect all 84. Battle beat.
All right, everybody,
okay.
sorry,
So
we were not paying attention to the clock, so we're back.
so that it looks to be about the same head sculpt as the 5 POA version.
Mhm.
But what I did differently, because the eyebrows are yellow, they didn't
Mhm.
show up against the skin tone very well.
Oh, so you painted it?
I did, and also the figures, because they're trying to mimic the animation, like the skin colors and the hair colors are matte. They're like a flat finish, but
It doesn't look bad.
no, the body is actually like a satin. So I just took a satin clear and covered it, and it makes a lot of the details come out a lot better in the figure, like on the face.
Hmm.
What I am going to say is, yes, these are made for collectors. The paint finish on the hands, it's flesh paint. Because it's matte finish, it's porous. That's why
Oh,
it absorbs light and doesn't reflect it. I put that gun in his hand once, and I could tell it was already starting to gnaw all the paint up.
oh,
So, if you want to play with it, just expect that, your thumbs are going to get some paint
inked up.
rubbed. So
Yep.
I coated it with the clear, knowing that I was going to keep one in box anyways. One for me to enjoy with my other 500 Dukes that I have.
Yeah, that
Uh,
Serpentor is one I was really looking for. I was hoping to find one of those in the stores, and on my crawl, I didn't see any of those. So that looks really good. I like the color on that one.
yeah, it's good. And there's some people on the online communities that poo-poo these.
Hmm.
I have this in my hand, and I'm telling you that this, like, it's damn near as good as an original Joe from the 80s, and they can't use those plastics anymore.
Right.
So I mean, like, it is sturdy, and they did a great job. There's no floppy joints or anything.
And how much were
And
they each?
1999.
Okay.
It's the same as the 5 POA, and a
Yeah.
couple dollars cheaper than the Hasbro's, but these only come with like one accessory. So,
I mean,
they
anymore nowadays with the way the toy collecting is, $20 per figure is about the norm. So,
yeah, I mean, like, that's where we're living at. So,
yep.
um, I have just one last hunk of things because
What
it
do you
was
got?
a very toy rich environment for me. I was fortunate enough to come across these online for sale for a really good price. So,
Oh, Min May.
yes, yep, I've got Min May, I got Lisa,
Ah,
and they are ugly, these figures are ugly as hell. I mean, we've seen them out of the package, right?
Yeah, they're not great,
ugly.
but hey, they're not great, but great at the same time.
But the one that meant the most to me,
Oh, you got
yeah, I got
Roy,
Roy too. Yeah.
good old fucker.
This all started, yeah, never mind. Uh, when we were up at the Inland Northwest and I found that Rick Hunter unpunched,
Yeah,
like almost dead mint for $30.
that was a good find.
Yeah, these were all less than that. And then I got
Oh,
a Dana,
wow.
Dana Sterling for about the same price the next time we went up. So I got to cut it out. Otherwise, I'm going to have a bunch of fugly Robotech figures on my shelf. They are like the most heinous, god awful sculpts, but very cool to have. So, I'm exhausted, dude. That's a lot of toys
That was
for
a good
me.
haul. That was a good one. We haven't been online for a hot minute, but when you're an adult and you're sick and you got to do other things, sometimes the toy world has to take a back seat. But even when it's taking a back seat, we're kind of still hunting, right? We're still pulling things in. So I think not a bad haul for not being online for about 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's a trickle, and I think next time I'll probably be toy less unless a couple things I've pre-ordered decide to show up. But I'm not gonna spoil any of that.
Yeah, I'm hoping the one thing that I showed you that I had as a kid comes in before next week.
I would very much hope so, and we can do a little share on that. Yep.
Yeah, because that one was. I'll go into a little bit for it when we finally have it, but I'm glad to have finally found it for a good price.
Well, and I mean, isn't that one of the best parts of our hobby when,
Yeah.
like, it's the memory and you get that thing? It would be like, how those robot watches were so popular or like so prevalent back in the day, right?
I love robot watches.
I had the Voltron knockoff one when I was a kid. If I could ever find one for cheap, loose, I would get it because I played with that thing for hours in the windowsill. And it was just a digital watch with Voltron arms and legs and a head,
Didn't matter, man. Didn't matter. Your
no,
imagination
it's
fueled
super
it.
cool. Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I think that was pretty good. All right. So we weren't paying attention to the clock before, so we kind of ran over a little bit. So we can just go jump right into a toy mill if you want to.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've been out of it for a little bit, but that doesn't mean that the news cycle stops. So,
Oh,
I have on this very small post-it note with very small writing,
look how
many
sophisticated and
things to talk
technical
about.
Steve is.
Do you want me to open this one up?
I'll open it with one piece of news which you took advantage of. Okay, so in the Transformer toy collecting world, either you love repros or you hate repros, right? Like there's no like in the middle. I am one of those guys who I love repros because there's no other way that I would get some of these figures the way that I want them if it was not for these really nice people over in China reproducing these things for me. So, coming
Yeah,
out of
and
that area,
there's obvious tells too.
oh yeah, there are
Like
there are obvious tells. And I mean,
if you're hung up on vintage, just buy vintage if it makes you happy. But I'm looking at a pile of Chinese knockoff Transformers right off camera there,
yep.
and that makes me
Mine are right
feel
here.
like I'm 8 years old again in a
These
toy
things,
store.
to me, they're just as good as the original. To me, right? I'm not going to sell them as originals, of course not. I'm not an idiot, but to me, they hit that button in my brain, my little 8-year-old brain. That's like, this is what you wanted as a kid. Look, you have them. So,
Yeah.
in that vein, in that news, finally, after many years of I don't know, people complaining, not wondering why it's happened, they have finally given us a Megatron, and I'm talking a G1 Megatron in the box shaped like a gun. Now, that's the good news. So the news is when you buy it, which I'm glad you took advantage of that because I really want to know what it's like when you finally have it in your hand. They ship it to you with Megatron outside of the box, uh, transformed into robot mode and in packaging, right? So because that's how they get around the customs and the shipping laws where you can't ship anything that looks like a gun out of China. So that's is one of the coolest pieces of news because I have been wanting a G1 Megatron in the box, and the price that these things are going for is the price that you can normally find the box for. And
Yeah. You buy a repro box.
Yep.
and it might not have the foam for the price of these full-on, like, incredibly accurate to G1
Yep. With all the
reissues.
accessories, with all the foam, with all the instructions, with all the stickers. So, I mean, I want to do it. I have to save up for it. I'm glad you took advantage of it because I know that was one that you were looking for.
Yeah, I saw that message come through on Facebook, but the one that all three of us are on, and want to say it took me about 11 and a half seconds to get it in the cart and get it ordered because, hey, we're both fortunate enough to have a Shockwave, right? Like you
Yeah.
eventually got one, I got one, and it balances my shelf out, but it just isn't Megatron.
Right.
And seeing this finally come up, I'm wondering logistically how, you know, what barriers they had, because you've seen Megatron be reissued a few times in knockoff form,
Hmm.
and boy, they are loose. They are just a
Oh yeah.
really, really
But for
bad.
me, I've got a loose Megatron. I want one in the box, and that's the reason why I want him because he's got to look good next to my Optimus Prime. So
Oh yeah,
that's the whole I mean, will I take him out of the box? I'll take him out of the box probably to see how he is, to kind of hold him in my hand a little bit. But for the most part, 98% of the time, that dude's going to be in his box on my shelf. So
yeah, and I think it's probably important to note for anybody who's looking at purchasing this, just look on eBay for it. Um, they don't fully it doesn't look like they go full figure. They
oh
just
really?
they move it around enough to where it no longer is like gun, and wrap him up in some paper and stick him in the box with it. So, because we know that he's just covered with vac metal
Yeah.
on certain parts, and I honestly think that they're being conscientious of that, and they're serving a certain collector base they know will purchase these. So, um, if you don't get Missing Link Megatron when that comes out, then
If he
you
comes
can get
out,
this
well, at which
terrific
point.
repro Megatron, and he'll be an amazing display piece. I have two Optimus Primes, for God's sake, because one of the repros was just not good enough. Uh, so yeah, that was so welcome, dude. I was just like sweating and panicking that I wasn't going to be able to get one because I would have been too late. But don't
No,
worry.
I haven't gone back in to see if they're available, but I have a feeling that they're gonna sell so all of these that they're gonna come back online. So even if you go on eBay, you can't find them, give them a month. I'm sure they'll get more. I'm positive they will get more. It's going to be a
Yeah.
heavy seller.
Yeah, and I can say that the quality, I'll give it if we're going to go like to G1, because I've bought a lot of these and I know you have several too.
Mhm.
We're like a B. Some of
Yeah,
the
B
molds
plus,
have
solid B
some
plus.
yeah, degradation. They're not as crisp as 1983, but the packaging is really good. Sometimes there's a typo on the package, but
Eh.
I mean, it's everything we've been clamoring and begging for
Well,
Hasbro
it
to do
is.
for us.
I've talked to my son about it. We've had a conversation or two about these things, and sometimes the conversation goes, well, if I could go back in time and just buy this thing, well, I don't have to go back in time. It's there. Somebody's offering it to me, right? And so
Yeah.
it may not be perfect, but it's going to be perfect enough for
Oh
me
yeah.
to be happy with.
Yeah. So yes, thank you in front of all of our adoring public. Thank you for passing that link off. I was incredibly happy to be able to see that and take the plunge because I'd been watching repro boxes at 80 to $100 a piece and then trying to figure out how I would put this thing together and not be out like hundreds of dollars. So
No,
uh,
no, no,
to put a repro box and not a real Megatron unless it was like a reissue or something that you still have to pay $200 for those to get.
I know. Yeah. So no, the price is good, and the fact that you even get everything with it, yeah. If I
Yeah.
if I would have had the money at that moment, I would have done it. But there was no way I could not share that with you.
Well, do you want to know what that kicked out? Because I'd been kind of putting a little bit of money back.
Hmm.
Since some prices are starting to normalize a little bit on eBay for vintage toys, I've been watching a Laser Power He-Man,
Oh,
uh, the Dolph version with he's completely stripped,
hmm.
but you can get a repro pack and sword for him. and I've been like right on the cusp of buying it. I gotta really save my pennies, started the new job and all that. And you showed me that Megatron, and I'm like, yeah, no.
He-Man who? No, we're getting
He
Megatron.
can wait a little longer. Okay, so anyways, that's great news for some of us. Um, I I am really excited for something that I think we're going to see later this month.
Oh, okay. What is it?
Okay, so do you remember when BST, AXN, Loyal Subjects had that booth image and they had a Thunderhawk box from Mask?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there is a strong rumor that they are going to be showing their product at Toy Fair this in February. So
Did
coming
they
up here
pick
very
up the
soon.
entire mask license?
They're the master license. There was some word that it was going to go to that guy that made the red gull wing and
Mm-hmm.
the those incredibly good like updated Mask vehicles. Buy one if you love Mask. But I think that he couldn't get the license for it, or Hasbro wanted too much. So Loyal Subjects, they had a very small hunk at a press conference, and they said it's going to be the figures and the vehicles that you remember.
Oh,
Well, what does that really mean? I mean, like, what does that
okay.
really mean? We've had the mask discussion, and how do you make new mask toys? It would be cost prohibitive, right? Like with all the molds. Well, nobody ever said that the old molds were lost or destroyed or gone. And so far as we know, there was one run of mask, and
Oh.
these are like steel molds that they make. So
So wait, you're thinking the original molds were still available?
I'm speculating that probably some of the original tooling is still available to use.
Oh,
It did not do they, Mask had one run. It wasn't like we've seen these figures reissued time and time
very
again
true.
and the molds disintegrated like some of the others, but that's pure speculation. Uh, what really gives me hope is they also had the master license now for Gem,
Oh, that's
and
right.
they
I saw that.
revealed that Gem doll, and that is tremendous. And they did an awesome Rainbow
It actually
Bright
looked
doll.
like a really good doll. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so far so good because not all of BST AXN loyal subject figures are
Hmm.
good. In fact, a majority of them look tremendous when they show them off, and you get it looking like a Toy Biz Lord of the Rings figure from like,
Oh, those figures are so bad.
yeah. By the way, I bought the loyal subjects Aragorn. All I really had to do was just completely take all the paint off of his face altogether and repaint it, and it was
That's
fine.
it. Just something
Rest of
minor.
the figure's fine. It was like $5 at Ross. So,
Oh.
anyways, I am so freaking excited because I think there's a strong possibility that we're going to see mask toys that are either very, very, very accurate to the originals, or maybe original tooling fired up
Similar
again.
enough, right?
Yeah.
I
Yep.
hope it
So
comes in a
that's,
great orange packaging too, man. They can't give us our orange boxes.
I have a really good collection of vintage masks. So if it's just reissues, I will have to buy Thunderhawk and Switchblade like hands down.
Yep.
I don't think I'll collect the others because I've got a really nice collection. But
I need to.
those
I would
two,
have to get Thunderhawk and Switchblade for sure, but I'd also have to get Condor and Firefly because I love those ones.
well, dude, if I had 4 more feet of retail racking in my room, then I would get them
Like,
all.
okay, don't you have like a son? Like, can he sleep on the couch? Can you take his room?
Stupid family needing places to sleep. It's
Mm,
ridiculous.
it is.
Okay,
All right.
so
I found
that's
something interesting.
yeah, that was my favorite big one. But I've got a bunch of other stuff. What do you got?
So I saw, I think it was probably yesterday, that Disney Hasbro is going to steer away from whatever they were doing for Star Wars previously, and are now going to focus on their new branding, their new marketing of Power of Force, not Power of the Force, Power of Force. And this is going to be across all of their branding for Star Wars now. And so there was no pictures other than just the Power of Force logo that they showed off. So I'm wondering what that means for that. So when they're saying it's going to be across all of that, is it just across all of the toy? Are they scrapping the Black Series? Are they scrapping the marketing that they had for the white and gold figures? I don't know if you remember the white and gold packaging now that's on some of those.
Yeah.
I know that some of the Disney Hasbro Star Wars toy line people have talked about how some people are not buying the product that it's currently at. So I think this is kind of them trying to rebrand, to refocus, and see if they can get the attention of collectors again.
Well, gosh, it's like that line is such a victim of its
Mhm.
fan base. I mean, we're to the point now where the Black Series is seen what, like 4 or 5 Farm Boy Lukes?
Yeah, yeah.
And
And even then, it's when you look at toy lines, it did not used to be like this, but it is this way now, where Star Wars is the one that's clogging the shelves. Like you see Star Wars, you'll see Jurassic Park, and you'll see some other ones that people are just are not, but they're not buying them. They're just leaving them on the shelves, and they never go to clearance. They just stay on the shelf. So I I don't know if this is. I'm assuming that this is their attempt to rebrand and try to revitalize the toy side of things, which I mean, realistically, has been sorely lacking. I mean, you've got some people who are diehard Black Series fans, and that's cool. You got some people who are, diehard vintage fans. They have the vintage packaging and all that fun stuff. So I mean, but overall, I think Star Wars as a brand has kind of left collectors wanting.
yeah, uh, and there's so much of it to collect.
Yeah,
What's it going to take to get people to buy again when they have 4, Han Solos?
yeah.
And like the vintage collection, those like mini Black Series figures, um, we keep seeing every few years that cycles through, and we get a new Jedi Luke, and
Hmm.
it's a few little minor tweaks and changes. Now, we were discussing off the air before we started tonight that Hasbro is going to take a turn away from physical toy manufacturing to a
They are.
degree. I don't think that that just means full stop for the big ones, Transformers, Star Wars, G.I. Joe. I think G.I. Joe might be the perfect example of what they will continue
Hmm.
for that. It's a collector focused line. And, this really does check out knowing that Hasbro is now farming their licenses out to other companies to make toys.
Hmm.
Super 7 doing, 5 POA and O-ring style Joes. And then
Missing Link
like,
going out to other places. Yep.
yeah, you now have all these third parties who have access to create product. Now that all Hasbro does is just take a little piece of the licensing. They don't have to create new tooling or anything. And I mean, they got their core stuff
Hmm.
still. But Star Wars might be a really good one for them to pull back on a little bit and evaluate just what they're doing. I mean, do those like 12-inch tall figures sell, the hollow
I
plastic
mean, I'm
ones?
sure they do for somebody. I mean, we've also talked about buying habits before in the past, and how kids probably under the age of 12, maybe even younger, just are not interested in toys anymore. And so some of these toys that are designed and marketed towards that age group, they're just not interested, right? So I mean, I'm sure there are some people out there who are buying them because, hey, it's Star Wars and I'm a Star Wars fan and I'm just going to buy these things. But they're not in the hands of who they're trying to be marketed at. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
So
or it's hard, it hurts my heart to see imagination die
yeah,
when a kid would rather pick up a tablet and play in someone else's sandbox than
then their
pick up
own.
their toys and make their own
Yeah,
sandbox. But Hasbro's got to pivot. They're a gigantic top-heavy corporate with a bunch of way overpaid people.
right.
So the only way that they're gonna make ends meet is cutting labor.
Yep.
No more. Their workforce gets cut, and being smart. Pivoting. If they're really going to collectors, you've got your Super Sevens out there, and you've got
Hmm.
your other companies who are willing to take on a license and take the risk.
Right.
to produce collector-oriented product. Um, but I
It's
don't think it won't all disappear. But I think the toy aisle is going to change in the next like 5 to 10 years.
it is going to change. It's going to be more of a collector's aisle than it will be a toy aisle, I think, which is it's already kind of shifting that way anyway. Um, but that announcement, specifically for the Hasbro one, is what we called before we started talking or before we came online. Was the my wait and see moment, right? Like it's an interesting announcement. It's an interesting move for Hasbro. And it's one of those where it's like, I want to wait and see what happens. Before I get angry or before I get excited or before I get anything, I want to see how it plays out. So,
Yeah, yeah, and it would just make sense, like the current animated Transformer series that you can catch on like Nickelodeon or whatever.
mhm.
That has like a main line and several sublines.
Yeah,
I mean, original Transformers had original Transformers.
yeah,
They were gimmicky products that were released within the line, but they didn't need to run 3 or 4 concurrent lines for original Transformers. So, maybe if they're if they're getting kids interested, they just need the one line.
yeah.
You know, does it need to be cheaper than the collector product? Probably when mom's in the store and she's deciding what she's going to get.
But even I don't think that's even the case anymore, right? With mom picking up a toy for your kid anymore. Uh, I think it's a matter of there are so many other mediums out there that are battling for everybody's attention. Kids like, most likely. And so a toy that's not marketed, that's not seen, only in the toy aisle, is really not going to excite a kid, right? It's just not. I mean, unless they're 8 years old or younger, they're going to look at that and go, nah, I'd rather buy an app or I'd rather buy, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, and you're right too, because back in the day, we either had the commercials on TV that told us to go buy Joe,
mhm,
or it was exciting to go to the toy aisle and see the things that we didn't know about, we
right.
didn't hear about. But now that like with social media and everything, and kids having so much screen time, you have to market directly to them.
Well, and if their friends are not talking about toys, then they're not going to talk about toys.
No,
If their friends are not
no,
doing these things with these brands, then they're not going to do anything with these brands. So,
yeah,
I mean, and that's just the reality of it, right? So, I mean, you and I mean, they got their meat hooks into us when we were 6 years old and they haven't let go of us yet. And yeah, we know we're brainwashed. We know this. Okay. But we have accepted it. We know it. It's part of our life now. But these kids have not been brainwashed. They have not been meat hooked into these things. And so they can walk down this toy aisle and go, I don't care. I'm going to go do something else. Right.
yeah.
So it's,
But you already have 5 of these.
and you
But
need six.
this one's a little bit different paint. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's not that I don't think toys have their place because I absolutely do. Toys have a tremendous place in imagination and building, your skills, your relationship skills. Because
And
as a
social
kid, you're
skills.
working through these things to figure out how it might work between, talking between two people. And if you can visualize that and imaginate that before actually doing it, it gives you a little bit of power. So, um, but I don't. That's just not how kids operate these days. That's just not how
No.
society operates these days. And I think that Hasbro trying to do this, they're trying to do it for the best of their brand, right?
Yeah.
They're trying
And
to stay relevant.
I ultimately I think the pivot will work, and I don't think that the grown adults buying children's toys is going to be affected too much. Star Wars will probably pare back, which is not a bad thing because there's a consistent glut of product, and there has been since like 1996. So
Yes.
might be getting a little tired, 30 years
Yes.
later.
Star Wars is definitely suffering from brand fatigue. I will say that.
Okay. Well, why don't we pivot to something kind of cool? That's like more exciting than the death of toys and
Yeah, let's do that.
that's Star Wars. Did you see the Masters of the Universe Thundercats crossovers, the Origins?
Yeah, those actually
They're
look pretty
effing
interesting.
good.
They
Yeah.
do look pretty good. So
And
when the toys first came out, they were really close in size anyway, right? Close enough
mm,
that you could say He-Man and Lion-O could have an interaction. even though
Kind
Lionel was
of.
maybe slightly a little bit taller, but
Yeah, he's about
um,
an inch or so taller, but this is in the Origins scale, and
right.
Mattel is producing probably one of. Okay, so we've seen the Turtles crossovers
Hmm.
and the wrestling crossover. The Turtles crossovers have very explicit variants.
Hmm.
Like you don't just get like a He-Man and the Turtles crossover that looks like original He-Man. You get He-Man with turtle gear and that
Yeah.
really cool like hood thing. Uh, but these figures do. They come with enough accessories that they can look like the classic characters, but they come with He-Manized stuff with them. So
Right.
yeah, I think that is the best idea. I
No,
love
they
that.
look really cool. I saw that Lino and I saw that Chitara, and I'm like, dang, these look really, really good. So I like the idea of the crossover between He-Man and Turtles. I haven't bought any of them because I was like, that's a whole nother line of origin that, geez, I just don't want to do right now because there's other things I want to focus on. But this one is different enough and along the lines of things like I don't have a lot of Thundercats. So this would be a fun line to jump into and get some Thundercat stuff.
Yeah, and wave one right out of the gates, we're getting Battle Cat as a
Yep.
Thundercat. Looks cool as hell.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, I
Uh,
have heard about that. I have seen that, and it does look like a lot of fun.
yeah, we'll see. I don't know if it might be like a decision on site when I see them,
Well, you
but
know you're going to buy
uh,
the He-Man, whatever He-Man Thundercat thing is. You know that.
could be.
You know
I'll
you
see.
will. You know you will.
Well, yeah, you're probably right. Uh, but yes, very good news. Hey, and if you guys haven't seen them, it's a really really neat introduction. I like it better than the turtle crossovers.
Yeah. Although the Turtle crossovers, I have to admit, they are really cool. I just can't pull the trigger on them yet.
Yeah, the He-Man. I really liked the He-Man that came out in that. I liked the whole like he kind of looked like he'd been wandering the wastelands or something. He
Yeah.
has cool accessories. Um, kind of like while we're still on the turtle thing. You remember when I was so excited about the remastered Ninja Turtles from like '88?
Oh yeah.
They were the classics version basically of turtle figures, and then I got them and they were kind of disappointing. Yes, the skin texture bothered me more than I thought it would. The
The
fact
slight
that
discolor.
they changed the facial expressions,
Hmm.
and the one thing that was super cool about Origins is they look like the original figures, with the exception of maybe a few paint color
Hmm.
differences on the figures. I mean, He-Man had the wonky head, and then they brought the classic head back for
Yep.
He-Man, and like in all intents and purposes, he looks like He-Man. The remastered Turtles don't look like the original Turtles.
Hmm.
Well, they're going to continue the line.
Really.
Yeah, and I got to see the Shredder and Rocksteady.
Hmm.
Uh, we got pictures on the Facebook group. But kind of what an interesting side note was, looks like we're getting the original Sewer Lair playset reissued.
Oh,
And
that was
it
one I
was
actually always wanted.
yeah, I don't know if it's to go with these remastered turtles because they are in roughly the same scale. Shredder's not crunched over. He can stand up straight.
Okay, wait, time out. So I like it, but now I'm worried. And here's why.
I know why you're worried. I know
Because
exactly
the
what you're going to tell me.
Terradrome came out and it was way smaller than what
Uh-huh.
we were used to and were expecting. And a lot of people canceled their orders because of that, because of how small it was. Are we going to get a smaller layer? I hope not.
Well, uh, how does it make any sense to do that? Like, how does it make sense to make a smaller Technodrome? And how does it make sense to do a smaller sewer layer? Like, you're making all new tooling for this stuff.
Yeah.
Why aren't you just using the original? Unless it's an
Well,
issue with drop
and then that's
testing
the
or
question,
something that
who are they making it for? Who are they making it for? Are you making it for kids? Okay, if it's for kids, then fine. But who's going to buy this crap? Boop,
screw
we
that.
are.
Not for the kids.
So,
That's for me.
so that's what I'm saying. So make it for who it's for. And if it's for us, then it better look like what we remember, right? So like I did you buy the balloon the blimp reissue?
I did,
Is
knowing
that
that
the
it
same
was crap.
size? Is that the
I
same
didn't.
size?
I didn't take it out. I bought it because it displayed nice on my retail racking.
Well, then what about the party wagon? Did
I've
that
not
get
taken
shrunk?
either of these out of the package. Um,
Mm,
as far as I know, those are safe,
okay.
except for the blimp has a different version of the carrier thing that goes underneath it. But I know those are safe. Also, holy, don't get old, folks. Um,
Is it
but
past your bedtime? Holy crap, what time is
yeah,
it?
like they've got the pizza thrower on the shelf. You know,
Yeah,
that one vehicle that shoots the discs. That's got to be the original one. Um,
I don't know. I don't know anymore. After that whole Terrordrome incident, I don't know anymore.
well, I know that's what everybody's taking a big deep breath on, because if it goes the way of the Terrordrome, um, or Technodrome,
Or Technodrome, sorry, Technos, sorry.
I canceled my pre-order, dude. There's a whole bunch of people that will too.
Yeah.
But these aren't even up for sale. None of them have been reviewed. It was just images that they showed.
Okay.
And I thought that it was really neat that, we could be getting this sewer lair play set, which I won't buy.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm sure they will have a display um, at WonderCon. They did last year. So I'm really interested in these toy vendors when they come to you and they show what the new stuff is going to be. So if there is anything for our TMNT from Playmates, I will be sure to take some pictures of those so that way people
Great.
can see kind of what they are. I'm hoping they'll have something. WonderCon is a great place to introduce toys. So is Comic Con. So, but yeah, we'll see what they say. I mean, if it's being displayed at WonderCon, then there's a good chance that it's already going to be hitting out like just a couple weeks after that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Please do, because everybody here wants to know. We're all waiting with bated breath, but I hope it's true to the original, because it doesn't make sense to spend all that money to make brand new tooling to make it smaller and make it cheaper. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah,
You reduce the size by 25%, but then you spend, $200,000 making the tooling for it,
hmm
so that you can save some money. Like,
yeah.
do you really save money in
No,
the long run?
just give us what we want, damn it.
Okay,
We're not asking
let's
for much, just what we want.
just exactly the way we want it too. Super 7, Silverhawks.
Yeah, those
What
look
do you
pretty
think
cool,
about
don't
those?
they?
The 5 POA with all the shiny vac metal on them.
Yeah, I saw Steelheart, and I think that that's probably the figure that's going to sell me on the line. So I saw those, and I don't normally pick up the 5 POA Super Sevens. Some of them I'm not going to say I haven't. I have, but I have passed on way more of those than on anything else.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in some cases, and then others, like, why would you buy their Transformers
Yeah, I'm not picking up their
in
Transformers.
5
I haven't picked
POA?
up their Transformers. But
And I,
this series, I might actually be interested in because that vac metal is so metal sweet. And I don't know if I could pass that up, Steve.
yeah, I understand. 100%.
Yeah. And they come with their eagles, right? They come with their hawks.
Yeah, yeah,
So
they
I mean,
look
that's
really,
cool.
really good. So, um, I didn't like their deluxe ones when they first came out with the matte finish, which were trying to be like the cartoon conveniently.
Dude, I love
Uh,
those.
well, when it first came, I was like, dude, you should have blown our minds and put
Oh,
vac metal on it, like to get us to go, and then do the matte finish versions, flat paint versions, to squeeze some more money out of the line.
okay.
But they're good. They're very good figures, but I was disappointed at that. And then, they back metaled them. They did not do that this time. These figures are just ready to rock, like
Ready
right
to go.
on the cards. Yeah, they look great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also interested into seeing some of the villains from this story. I like Monstar is such a great character and a great figure. And Molecular, I'd love to see him. So there's some good ones out there that I would really like to see.
Yeah, what's the guy called that has like a saw for a head, a saw for hands, and the green guy?
Oh, Buzz. His name is Buzzsaw.
Oh, right. Well, he had this cool gimmick where like
Where
his
you
jaw would
pull
go
his
up
head
and down, and
and
the
his
thing would
shoulders.
spin. Boy, that's like a page right out of the Masters of the Universe playbook right there.
But
so
yeah, no, that's a good line.
you know, we covered it earlier with the Duke and Serpentor, but it warrants mentioning everybody who wants the new Super 7 O-rings. Go look at your targets. They're gonna
Hopefully they'll start showing up.
They will. I don't know, like certain targets get them, certain targets don't, but I've never had a problem finding the first wave on the shelves at other targets other than mine in Burlington. Also, if you don't want to do that, Super 7 is shipping them incredibly fast. So
Maybe that might be the way I have to go.
yeah, it made good sense. Their customer service was really, really good. So that's how I got mine. But anybody wondering, yes, they're popping up at Targets. Yes, over here in the Seattle area, they're all over except Duke now. They're finding Serpentor. They got the big, the Fatal Fluffy, and what's the other guy's name? Ragnar or something?
Oh, the giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are showing. Duke is not yet, but it will. So keep your eyeballs peeled for those. They're out there.
Yeah, I'll have to save up some money for those when I'm done paying off my local crack deal. I mean my local toy dealer for some things.
Yeah. Briefly touched on it before
we got less than a minute. Oh crap, we got less than a minute.
Oh my God.
All right, hold on. We're gonna go to commercial break and then we'll jump right back on. You guys are gonna want to hear this.
There's a special kind of love no one can match. You'll find it in the Cabbage Patch. Cabbage Patch Kids, a special kind of love.
Meet Sarah Ann. I just adopted her. She needs me.
Oh, welcome to the family, Sarah Ann.
Cabbage Patch Kids are each different as can be.
Cabbage Patch Kids, a special kind of love.
Cabbage Patch Kids come with a birth certificate and application for adoption, and they're each sold separately.
Yo, video game dudes, talk to me! This is Game Genie, Brokaloo, the awesome video game enhancer for your Nintendo Entertainment System. Attaches to most of your video games. Double Dragon 3 or Super Mario Bros. 3. You can go to any level, live forever, jump higher, make your own effects, and get radical firepower. Go to any level, jump higher, stay bigger, live forever. Game Genie, the radical video game enhancer.
Keebler presents the appealing taste of baked potato skins in a crispy, crunchy chip.
Potato skins got baked potato appeal, cause they're made with potatoes and skins that are real.
The Keebler elves make potato skins with real potatoes and real potato skins for a flavor with whole baked potato appeal.
Cheddar cheese and bacon, sour cream and chives, tasty baked potato, you won't believe your eyes. They're made with potatoes and skins that are real. Potato skins from Keebler, baked potato appeal.
I don't want to do this.
It'll be great.
I'll be scared.
Just think how glad you'll be when you're all done and maybe we'll all go to McDonald's.
I'll be glad when I'm done. I'll be glad when I'm done. I'll be... Think McDonald's. Oh, I wish I were already there instead of here playing this song. Oh, I would have a big chocolate shake, a cheeseburger, and also, and also fries. And I would eat my fries myself and not give any to my dumb brother. Hands off, they're mine, all mine. Oh boy, my recital is almost done. It wasn't bad, I'm still alive. And now I can have my chocolate shake, my cheeseburger, and also and also fries.
All right, we are back from that almost interruption, which there'll be some commercials. I hope you enjoy them. But let's see what other news we've got.
Right, yes. Where we left off, because we're both long-winded and we love toys. We were kind of talking about this wave of prototypes that we just saw. Okay. G.I. Joe Classified Crystal Ball is going to be cool.
He's gonna be cool.
Do you know how much that hurts
That's
me
not
to
something
say
you
this?
thought you'd ever say.
Do you know how much that hurts? That peg warming loser figure that like clogged shelves in the
Not
80s.
this time.
The prototype looks so freaking good. We haven't seen it painted, but it's just like, it's one of those ones where like sometimes they do them and they're incredibly accurate to the original design, which is cool, and then sometimes they're radically different, which is cool.
Right.
Like I haven't seen a Psych out yet, but he sucks wind as well.
Yeah, but you know he's probably going to be cool as hell too.
He'll be great when they'll change that design and fix it with all the stupid radar dishes all over his body.
You know, we have got to give recognition where recognition is due, because the classified team at Hasbro has consistently done an excellent job with the brand.
They deliver 11 out of 10 times. It's crazy.
Easily. And I know that there are some G.I. Joe collectors out there who I have heard mumbles of this recently about like, oh, it's starting to get a little tired with the classified. They're starting to be too much. No. I'm not seeing it, dude. Classified is just a beautiful line, and I love it. So,
yeah, no. And I didn't want to talk about Crystal Ball, but I feel like I rag so hard on some of these characters that, yes, it's going to be cool. Yes.
Well, I mean,
Raptor
the
was
old
cool.
characters had it coming, Steve. So don't feel bad. But the new designs look mwah.
Yes, and there was a whole slew of protos for the retro carded figures that came out recently. We were talking about Flint off the air, who looks awesome. I mean, these are going to be on the classic retro style cards, like your Cobra Commander and all the ones who have come before that, who are really, really, really good figures.
They are.
But this latest wave, we had CoverGirl, Bats, Televiper, and a green shirt.
Yes, the green shirt.
The green shirt's kind of a cool idea. Bats look great. They have the red colored visor thing on there. Televiper, I mean, he was almost his original self in that when he came out. In the
Trouble Bubble release, yeah.
Flint obviously looks incredibly good.
Yes.
He's got them big Popeye the Sailor Man forearms.
As he should.
Yeah. It's probably... It took a while to meet Lady J, so I'm sure he had a lot of spare time. Anyways.
Flint is a warrant officer. He needs to look like he came from the enlisted side first, and this guy does.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like the original classified Flint, other than his even the like gear, the flak jacket thing is cool.
It doesn't look bad.
But it's just, this is just wildly a better figure.
Absolutely.
So the one that's getting me a little confused right now is we saw the CoverGirl prototype. And these are prototype images, but
this is blonde hair.
Yes. So they're
right?
supposed to like lean toward, they're supposed to lean into the original figures that came out. Original color, trying to keep with the same palette and design. But the original CoverGirl just had kind of like this bob kind of a haircut, a little bit longer than a Lady J, but shorter than a Scarlet thing. And she had like auburn colored hair.
The original figure did, yes.
Yeah, and in the cartoons it went both ways. But why would they go blonde on a retro style figure? I'm curious about that.
Because they're trying to give us the CoverGirl that we never got. So Super 7 did a CoverGirl with the blonde hair. I have not seen that one yet. I want that one. But I think that they're trying to go towards this original concept of what CoverGirl was for the cartoon side, which is what Super 7 has been leaning into.
Yeah, but this is Hasbro. This is the Hasbro Classified.
Oh no, that's right. This is Hasbro. So that means Hasbro hasn't given us a blonde hair yet. So this will be will be a first for Hasbro. That's right.
What I think it's going to happen, what I hope we see, is a original figure inspired head with the like reddish brown hair, and the shorter hair, and then give us the blonde-haired one because she appeared in an episode or two with the blonde hair. But what I don't want to see is the original G.I. Joe cartoon design, like all stripped down, just the green fatigue looking thing. Because CoverGirl, the original figure, is like one of these amazing, simple, and awesome designs
Oh
with
yeah,
like the
no, I get it. Yeah, the
fatigues and the
pants and the
bomber
leather jacket,
and
yeah,
all that.
totally
Man,
cool.
it's like one of my absolute favorite figures from the original release.
Yeah.
So I really hope that they give us that long blonde-haired one as a nod, but then we get one that like looks like the cover girl.
Or give it, or do it like they did the Zorana release, where you can take the hair off, right? You give us the original hair,
right,
and you
yeah.
can take the hair off and then put the other hair on. They didn't change the figure or give us an alternate head, they just gave us alternate hair. So
yeah, Lady J, you could do that with her hat and her hair, swappable.
So I mean, that makes sense. That makes more sense actually. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. We'll see what happens, but another stellar wave of retros that are coming.
G.I. Joe again at the top of their game. And with no cartoon or movie to add. I mean, come on. That's incredible.
Well, they've got it dialed in. I do think that they are producing the right amount of product for the right amount of people buying them.
Yeah.
Does it pain me to say that we don't have like kids buying a bunch of O-ring Joes? Hell yeah. But it's not there. So, they're letting Super 7 handle the O-rings unless they do these Transformers crossovers. I'm assuming O-ring is probably dead at Hasbro for the 2-pack.
I hope not, but you might be right.
I think it'll be selective, the stuff that we get to see from them. We still got to get that Optimus Prime G.I. Joe crossover.
Oh, dude, yeah. So, can you imagine like an APC Optimus Prime?
That's it. That's the only thing I can imagine.
With a Duke figure or
Maybe
even
General
a Hawk
Hawk.
figure, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, geez, that would be so bad.
Yeah, they gave us Duke. I think it'd only be fair that it would be General Hawk or somebody that came along with Optimus Prime. But they might get two. So
maybe.
I don't know.
just want to see one. Now the more we talk about it, the more I want to see it.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like they're doing a really good job. They've got their collector focused figures. They're doing some HasLabs and a few little trickle out things, and then letting Super 7 have their shot. And these other companies, I don't remember their name, but you can get some like higher end 6-inch figures that have like cloth goods and everything.
Oh yeah. I don't. The Snake Eyes look really good. I know which ones you're talking about. Kind of like the Hot Toys ones that they released, but not quite.
Sort of, yeah. They're just smaller.
They're smaller.
Actually, Hiya Toys is doing a line of 4-inch Joes too that aren't too bad.
Oh, really?
And those are all original sculpts. They're just like their design on the figures. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to peter out or not because it doesn't seem to have the gas that Classified does. But, anyways, that's G.I. Joe's doing well right now. The last thing that I wanted to cover. I just saw tonight they are doing a animated RoboForce series.
Oh, okay. So RoboForce is the one that just got picked up by what's his name? The guys that did the Netflix series. Walt Weiss or whatever his name is. He's got he owns that one in Sectars.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and I think they're trying for some other licenses too. So,
but he's coming out with a cartoon or a movie.
This cartoon, and the preview I saw was on YouTube, but I want to say it might be a Tubi exclusive. And it is a pilot episode exists for RoboForce, about a 45-minute movie that you can find on YouTube. It's okay, it's like standard fare for the 80s, but how do you like those designs are so retro and funky looking with the suction cups. Nassau has
the new ones don't have them, right?
No, but
they have legs.
yeah, they're bipedal now. But it really looks to be aimed at like 7-year-olds maybe.
All right.
Hey,
So that's my mentality. What are you talking about? That's great.
Does it have the gas to get that age group engaged?
Yeah,
Can it? I don't know, because it's such a niche item. Like, you just, it was in the stores for less than a year and then gone.
Do
And,
kids
I
watch
have
cartoons
some.
these days?
Some of them do, but Victor does.
I
He's on
mean,
the
unless
Sonic
it's
kick
anime,
right
I think
now.
everybody watches anime these days. But I mean, like cartoons, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you got to search them out. I don't even know if Cartoon Network has regular cartoons for kids anymore. But anyways, it was kind of an interesting thing. It looks like, it'll be like today's what they do with probably like an 8 to 10 episode run, and that'll be the season. It won't be this like giant syndicated,
Well, it doesn't
deal
need
where
to be syndicated anymore, so they can do less episodes.
no. And can RoboForce carry it? Like,
No. Well, I don't know. Haven't seen it. Don't know what the story is. Maybe they changed it up a bit. I don't know, but I'll have
I
to
don't
see.
know. That's another one of those things where I almost feel like, they made this collector's line, but who's buying? How many units are they selling?
I go to Walmart,
And
which I think they're Walmart exclusives.
oh yeah, they had the Max Steel that was a
Yeah,
Walmart
so
deal.
those I still see all over on the shelves. I still see the Sectars. I still see the RoboForce. Now, there's a
Biker
giant
Mice from
sign above it
Mars.
that says $30, and that's probably why they're still there. I'm not gonna buy that for $30. Sorry, man. I don't care how bad I want a Sectar in a package. I'm not gonna do it. So
I don't love it enough. I'd rather buy a vintage
yeah,
one.
yeah. If I'm gonna spend money, I want it to be vintage.
Yeah, that's probably where I'd be at. And I have vintage RoboForce because they were not terribly expensive, and I found a couple of good lots. But now, well, there's a lot of cool things that just couldn't come back unless they had the collectors buying them.
Yeah.
I wonder if the tooling still exists for Wheeled Warriors.
Oh, I hope that would be such a cool. It was such a niche one too, though. It was
Yeah.
the Aaron Gone, and I don't know if a lot of people may not even remember it. I don't know. I do.
Do you?
I love that toy line.
Well, it always seems that there's a lot of reverence for it on online and collectors groups. Like they know it. They love the theme song because it
Oh yeah,
it
that theme song is
rocks.
hard.
Do you think that? Well, do you think reissues would sell if they put little 4 or 5 POA figures that look like the cartoon characters with them?
Yes, if they look like the cartoon characters.
You
If they
get a
gave us two
Jade.
characters, the original brown suit with the tie, and then the character we're supposed to have.
Yeah, it's like these guys are like members of the Freemasons or something, or like a dinner
I don't
party
know what
club.
they're for, but
And they're
man,
just these
I
most,
remember
like,
getting one
god-awful.
and looking at it going, "What the hell? Did I get the
Yeah,
wrong
like
figure?"
they look like something out of Mad Max in the cartoons. They look cool as hell.
Yeah, and then they show up
Uh,
in business suits and ties.
but
And as
they're all in
toy.
these orange suits and like, I am a wheeled warrior. I am
From the
part of the
Lightning
Lightning
League.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very exclusive. Yes, this is my salad that's trying to kill me. Just a wad of brains that go in the monster mine vehicles.
Oh man,
The two little
I almost
eyeballs.
picked up what's it? Sawboss.
Sawboss.
I was thinking about it. There was one being offered. It was almost a good price, but then I was like, not quite good enough. Not yet.
Well, there's always the Inland Northwest if he happens.
That's true.
to
I
come
pick up
with
some
one.
good stuff there when I go. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Which,
Well,
by the way,
I'm capped.
people, that's coming up in May. So
Yeah.
you ready for us to
yeah,
talk about that?
Yeah, should be early May. Yeah, usually
So
like the first or second week.
yeah, by our timeline, that's what, 3 more episodes. So I think we'll be fine.
I don't know. Depends on how sick or tired and or both we get.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us for which is probably now going to be a really long episode because I've got to mash these all together. But it was worth it because you haven't seen our ugly mugs in a while, and now you're just going to get so much of us. So I hope you enjoyed our show. If you did, please let us know in the comments below. Give us a like. maybe even a subscribe. Mom, tell your neighbor about us. Maybe we can get a bump in our numbers. For our followers that do follow us and who do comment on our videos, we really do appreciate that. We do read those and we do comment back whenever we have time. So please stick with us. I'm not going to say it's going to get better, but it at least will be consistent.
All right, y'all. Take care. We'll see you in the toy aisle.